Well, good morning, everybody, again from a hot and steamy day in Maryland. Summertime is here in full effect. We're not yet in August, which are considered the dog days of summer, but July has been pretty much like August so far. So what's in store for today is we're going to cut on some of this oak that we brought in last week, and we've got a delivery today. I have a repeat customer from last year who called and ordered a third of a cord of a mix of maple and cherry. Last year he got a third of a cord strictly for his outdoor fire pit, but this year he's bought a new house and he has a wood stove, so he said he wants to kind of split up the wood between something he can burn for ambiance and, you know, to sit around in the evenings inside, as well as burn in his outdoor fire pit. So we came to an agreement on a mix of maple and cherry for those needs, and I think he's going to be very happy with that. So we'll get the trailer loaded up with some maple and cherry first, and then we'll come over here, start cutting on some of this oak and see how much we can get done today. So stick around. All right, so the plan today, first thing, is just to get the trailer loaded because I've got the delivery scheduled for just after lunch today. And I've got this, it's probably a little more than half a face cord of maple, but we're gonna load that up first. And then we've got a face cord of cherry that's right here, just 2 pallets up from it. We'll take half of that face cord out to make a full 1/3 cord of maple and cherry mix. So I've got the trailer backed up right here. We'll weasel our way in through the mess here, get it backed up in position so we can start loading the trailer. Pretty good. Something I just noticed here, let me show you this. I know it's my fault, but it makes life easier for me. But these pins that hold the doors open on the back of the dump trailer, I just noticed that there's another one missing. So right here, the pin's gone. The one on this side's still here. But there's supposed to be a cotter pin, obviously, that goes in the bottom of the pin here to keep this from happening. But the cotter pin can be somewhat of a pain to get on and off, especially when it's on the trailer because they're very tight. So I haven't been using the cotter pins, thinking that the pin is long enough and gravity will hold it in. And for the most part, it has. But now this is the second pin that I've lost since I've owned the trailer. And haven't been using the cotter pins. So I don't know where I'm losing them or how I'm losing them, but they are definitely coming out. So I guess I'm going to be going back to using cotter pins. All right, the maple is loaded. We're gonna pull the trailer up a little bit, just a little bit up here to get to where the cherry's at. I've already measured and marked down to where I need to load the cherry to. Got that log right there pulled out, kind of marking the spot where I stop. That is a very healthy 1/3 of a cord of maple and cherry. I always like to throw in a little bit extra, not a lot, but I want the customer to know that they're getting what they're paying for. So that's a nice 1/3 of a cord there. We're going to deliver that a little bit later. We're even going to stack it, so I think he'll be very happy. Well, there's still a little bit of shade here where this oak is dumped. It has full shade in the morning, but as the sun comes up, obviously we lose the shade. So we'll go ahead and run a tank of fuel through the 261 here. We got a little bit of time before we have to make this delivery. So it's a good time to get a little bit of the oak cut. We'll see how much we can get done with 1 tank of fuel. Then we'll go make this delivery, stack the wood, and I'll probably come back this evening and finish up this load. All right, so I feel like we got to have a discussion about the chainsaw here. After my visit from Shibe a few weeks back, you know, I ran the 500i, and I was absolutely amazed by the power and just the torque of that saw. I'm sure in the video cutting that last log right there, you can hear the saw slowing down. This saw slowing down a little bit. The 500i doesn't do that. It just, once it starts, the power's immediate and it stays immediate all the way through it, as long as you don't muscle on the saw and let the saw do the work. But I'm still a fan of the 261. I really am. This is, in my opinion, an all-around great firewood saw. Yes, it doesn't have the CCs and it doesn't have the horsepower of the 500i, but for a general firewood saw, the lightweight, and it's got a 20-inch bar on it, but I really do like this for a firewood saw. Now, would I get a 500i? Absolutely, 100%. It's just not in the budget right now. There's a couple other things that I'm interested in purchasing next, one being a firewood bundler, manual wrapper. That's something I feel like I need first because I already have saws. If I didn't have a chainsaw and I was going to buy my first one, the 500i would probably be what I would buy. But I've got some other things that I feel like I need a little more. Eventually one day I probably will have a 500i. But since you saw me running the 261 there, I just wanted to give that a quick mention. Well, that was about a tank of fuel, a little over a tank of fuel actually. Made a pretty good dent in the pile there for that load. But we got to get ready for this delivery, so we'll go make this delivery, stack this wood, and then I'll come back later this evening and finish cutting this load and get all the rounds stacked up so that they're ready to split. So here we are making the delivery. I already started unloading a little bit of it. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Because it's 135, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think you got 30.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And you can let him know I moved this old wood off, so I'll put that back on top so you can use that first.
All right, please.
You're welcome. Yeah, so I got backed in here, and this is the same customer, but they've got a new house, and it's really beautiful back here. Backs right up to the woods, a lot of trees, a lot of shade, and he still had a little bit of wood left over from last year. So like you heard me tell his wife there, I moved that off his rack, and I'll put that back on top just to rotate it for him. Both he and his wife were in a motorcycle accident several years ago, and they both lost a leg. So they always have me stack the wood for them. They both get around really well though, and very nice people. So it's a good customer. I guess I'll speed you up here and I'll show you what it looks like when we get done stacking. And he's got this nice little rack here. Should hold face cord. We'll see what it looks like when we're done. Well, there's the end product. The rack is only about 7 foot wide, so it went a little above the ends there, but I just rounded it off, stacked it up, and I'll put the rest of this wood from last year that I have on the ground there in front of the stand. I don't really want to go too much higher because I don't want it to take a chance on it falling. but he should be good to go for the season now. Well, I figured I'd make a quick pit stop here before we get home. I had to go by here on my way home, and as you know from the beginning of the video, I need some pins, so let's get it. All right, so that's going to do it for today. Hope you all enjoyed that video. We're going to get rid of this cotter pin right now. That's what I'm talking about. They're just a pain to pull out even when you have gloves on, especially when you have gloves on, I should say. So we're going to replace the pin that we lost here. We'll install a lynch pin that'll make life a lot easier than those cotter pins. We'll put the lynch pin on this one before we lose this side as well, and the cotter pins are gone away for good. So hope you enjoyed today's video. You got to see some of the cutting action earlier on that load of oak. I'm going to come back over later this evening, and when the sun starts to go down, and finish ripping through that load. So that'll all be done today. But you got to see a delivery today. I think that customer will be really happy. But thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel, and we will see you next time. Have a great week, everybody.